Picture this. A mountain looms before you, its peak piercing the heavens, unmoved by the howling winds or the relentless storms that batter its ancient stone. You stand at its base, trembling, not from the cold, but from the weight of invisible chains, fear, doubt, hesitation. These are the forces that stop you before you even begin to climb. They whisper lies in your ear. You're not ready. You're not enough. What if you fall? And so, you freeze, rooted to the ground, while the summit of your potential fades into the mist. But what if I told you that the storm is not your enemy? What if the mountain itself is your teacher, daring you to rise, to act as if nothing can stop you? Welcome to the first step of your journey, a raw, unflinching look at the paralyzing forces of fear and doubt that bind you. This is not about ignoring those chains. It's about recognizing their weight, understanding their grip, and choosing to shatter them. In this section, the weight of invisible chains, we'll confront the silent saboteurs that keep you from starting. We'll stand together at the foot of that unshaken mountain, learning resilience against the fiercest storms of doubt. You are not alone in this struggle, and you are not powerless. Let's begin by facing the truth. The only thing truly stopping you is the story you've told yourself. Are you ready to rewrite it? Imagine a small, cluttered studio tucked away in a quiet corner of the city. Paintbrushes lie untouched. Canvases lean against the wall, hidden beneath dusty cloths. This is where Maya, a talented artist, once poured her soul into vibrant strokes of color. Her work was alive, landscapes that seemed to breathe, portraits that captured the flicker of human emotion. But one day, she showed a piece to a friend, and the critique stung like a blade. "It's interesting," they said, hesitating. That single word became a storm in her mind, a tempest of doubt that drowned her passion. What if others saw her work and laughed? What if she poured her heart into a painting only to be rejected? Fear wrapped its icy fingers around her, and she stopped painting. She buried her passion beneath layers of excuses. "I'm too busy. I'm not good enough. Maybe later." The canvases gathered dust, and her spirit dimmed with them. But let's pause here. What was Maya truly afraid of? Not criticism itself, but the meaning she attached to it. She saw judgment as proof of her inadequacy, not as a stepping stone to growth. Her invisible chains were not the words of others, but the story she told herself. "I am not enough." And so, she stood at the base of her own mountain, unwilling to climb, while the storm of doubt raged around her. Yet, what if she had acted as if nothing could stop her? What if, instead of hiding, she had picked up her brush and painted through the fear? The mountain does not move for the storm. It endures. And so could she. The lesson here is clear. Fear only wins when you let it dictate your actions. Maya's story is not over. One day she will face that storm, stand unshaken, and reclaim her art. Will you reclaim yours? Now picture a young professional named Liam, sitting at a worn desk in a cramped apartment, staring at a laptop screen. A job listing glows before him, a dream role at a company he's admired for years. It's the kind of position that could redefine his career, a chance to build something meaningful. His resume is ready, his skills align, but his finger hovers over the apply button. Frozen, doubt creeps in like a shadow. "I don't have enough experience," he thinks. "They'll see right through me. What if I'm not even considered?" He imagines the rejection email, the silence of being ignored, and the weight of failure before he's even tried. So, he closes the tab, convincing himself it's safer to stay where he is, unchallenged, untested, unseen. The dream job slips away, not because he wasn't qualified, but because he never gave himself the chance to be. Liam's story mirrors so many of ours. How often have you stood at the edge of opportunity, only to turn back because of a storm in your mind? His invisible chains were not the job requirements or the competition. They were the fears he allowed to rule him, like a mountain battered by gales. He could have stood firm, unshaken, and pressed apply as if nothing could stop him. What's the worst that could happen? A no is not a verdict on your worth. It's a detour, a lesson, a spark to keep climbing. Liam will face this crossroad again, and when he does, he'll learn to act with the resilience of that mountain. The takeaway is piercing. Doubt only holds power when you refuse to move. Will you step forward the next time your dream calls? Let's reflect for a moment on these stories, on the weight of invisible chains that bind you before you even start. Fear and doubt are not mere emotions. They are ancient forces, as old as the human spirit itself. They are the storm that howls around the mountain of your potential, testing your resolve, daring you to crumble. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. They are not real in the way stone is real. They are illusions, shadows cast by your own mind, and shadows cannot hold you unless you let them. Think about it. How many dreams have you buried beneath the weight of what if? How many summits have you abandoned because the climb felt too steep before you even took a step? Consider the mountain once more. It does not flinch when the wind screams or the rain lashes its sides. It stands, unshaken, because it knows its own strength. You, too, have that strength buried within you, beneath the layers of hesitation and self-doubt. Fear tells you to wait for the perfect moment, to avoid the storm altogether. But perfection is a myth. The storm will always come. The question is not whether you'll face it, but whether you'll stand tall when you do. Pain, rejection, uncertainty. These are not your enemies. They are your forge, shaping you into something unbreakable. So, why do you let invisible chains hold you back? They are heavy only because you carry them. Lay them down. Choose to climb. The summit is waiting, and it's closer than you think. Dive deeper with me into this storm of doubt that rages within. It's not just Maya or Liam who feel its force. It's you. It's me. It's every soul who has ever dared to dream. This storm is universal, a tempest of whispers that tells you to shrink, to hide, to play it safe. It's the voice that says, "Don't speak up. They'll laugh." It's the tremor in your hands when you're about to take a risk. But let's strip it bare. Where does this storm come from? It's born from the stories we inherit. Past failures, harsh words, the weight of expectations. It's fueled by comparison, by the illusion that others have climbed their mountains without struggle. But every peak has its storm, and every climber has felt the sting of doubt. Look at the mountain again, standing unshaken against the fiercest gales. It does not resist the storm. It accepts it, endures it, knows it will pass. You are that mountain, even if you've forgotten. The storm of doubt cannot uproot you unless you uproot yourself. So ask yourself, how long will you let this tempest dictate your path? How many more chances will you let slip through trembling fingers? The storm is loud, yes, but it is not your master. You are. Rise above the noise. Feel the ground beneath your feet, solid and unyielding. Act as if nothing can stop you, because in truth, nothing can, except your own refusal to move. We share this battle, you and I. Together, let's face the wind and climb. Now, let's turn philosophy into action. You've felt the weight of invisible chains. You've seen how fear and doubt stop you before you start. But feeling is not enough. Breaking free requires deliberate steps, small acts of defiance against the storm. First, pause when doubt strikes. Don't react. Don't retreat. Take a breath and name the fear. Is it failure? Rejection? Write it down. Seeing it on paper strips it of its mystery, reduces it to ink and thought. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Often, the answer is far less terrifying than the shadow in your mind. Next, take one step, however small. If you're like Maya, pick up the brush and sketch a single line. If you're like Liam, draft the first sentence of that application. Action, even tiny, is a hammer against your chains. It proves to the storm that you are still here, still climbing. Set a timer for 5 minutes if you must. Commit to just that much. You'll find that 5 minutes often stretches longer because starting is the hardest part. Finally, and anchor yourself in a truth. The mountain does not crumble, and neither will you. Whisper it to yourself. I am unshaken. Repeat it until it drowns out the doubt. These steps are not grand, but they are powerful. They are your first ascent. Will you take them today? Let's add one more tool to your arsenal, a practice to build resilience against the storms of doubt. Each day, carve out a moment to visualize your inner mountain. Close your eyes and see it, jagged, ancient, unyielding. Picture the storm raging around it, the wind screaming, the rain pounding, yet the mountain stands firm. This is you. This is your core, the part of you that no fear can touch. Spend 5 minutes here, breathing deeply, feeling that strength seep into your bones. When doubt creeps in later, return to this image. Remind yourself, I am unshaken. I endure. Then, pair this with a tangible act. Keep a small token, a stone, a coin, a note, something to hold when fear tightens its grip. Let it be your mountain in miniature, a reminder of your resilience. When you're tempted to quit, to hide, grip it tight and recall the storms you've already weathered. You've survived every doubt, every setback, every no up to now. Why would this moment be any different? Combine this with a single action step. Send that email, make that call, take that risk. Visualization and action together forge an unbreakable will. You're not just imagining strength, you're building it. Brick by brick, storm by storm. Start this practice now. Hold your token. See your mountain. Act as if nothing can stop you. Can you feel the shift already? As we close this first chapter of our journey, let's stand together at the base of that unshaken mountain. We've faced the weight of invisible chains, the paralyzing forces of fear and doubt that stop you before you start. Through Maya's buried passion and Liam's unspoken dreams, we've seen how these storms rage in all of us. But we've also uncovered a timeless truth. These chains are heavy only as long as you carry them. The mountain does not bow to the storm, and neither must you. The key lesson is to recognize fear for what it is, an illusion, a shadow, and to act despite it. You don't need to feel ready. You need to move anyway, to act as if nothing can stop you. This is just the beginning. Ahead lies the path of forging new strength, of building habits and mindsets that make you unbreakable. The next storm awaits, but so does the next summit. Carry this insight with you. Resilience is not the absence of doubt, but the choice to climb through it. Feel the ground beneath you. Know your strength. Let this mantra echo in your heart as you prepare for what's next. Stand unshaken. The storm will pass, but you will remain. Picture a river, relentless and unyielding, slicing through ancient stone. It doesn't roar with arrogance or rush with impatience. It simply moves, drop by drop, day by day, carving a path through what seems impenetrable. That's you, right now, standing at the edge of your own impossible barrier. Fear looms like a mountain before you. Doubt whispers like a shadow at your side. And yet, something stirs within, a spark, a choice. Will you take that first step, acting as if nothing can stop you? In this moment, in the first strike of defiance, you learn the raw power of beginning, despite the tremble in your hands, despite the ache in your soul. This is where your journey transforms, where you become the river that cuts through stone. Feel the weight of that first strike. It's not just a step, it's a declaration to the universe that you will not be stopped. Here within the greater arc of learning to act as if nothing can stand in your way, we dive into the heart of initiation. That first act of defiance against fear, against the odds, is your chisel against the rock. It's not about being fearless. It's about moving forward even when your knees shake. You're not waiting for courage to arrive like a gift from the heavens. No, you're forging it with every breath. Let's walk this path together, through stories of grit, through reflections on what it means to begin, and through steps you can take today. Are you ready to strike? Imagine yourself at the starting line of a race you've trained for months to run. The crowd buzzes around you, their cheers a distant hum beneath the pounding of your own heart. But something's wrong. Your ankle throbs, a sprain from a misstep just days ago. Every instinct screams to sit this out, to save yourself the pain, the embarrassment of limping across the finish line last. You could walk away now, and no one would blame you. But as the whistle blows, something shifts. You decide to act as if nothing can stop you. You don't run. You can't. Instead, you walk. Each step is a stab of fire. Each stride a battle against the voice that begs you to quit. Spectators stare, some with pity, others with confusion. Why keep going when you can't win? Hours pass. The crowd thins. The other runners have long since crossed the line. Your ankle screams. Your body begs for rest, but you keep moving. Step by step, you carve your path, not for glory, but for yourself. And then, finally, you see it, the finish line. Not a soul remains to cheer, but as your foot crosses that marker, a quiet victory surges through you. You didn't win the race, but you defeated something far greater, the barrier of doubt that said you couldn't even start. Like a river cutting through stone, your unyielding determination carved a way forward. The lesson burns bright. That first step, taken despite the pain, was your defiance. It wasn't about speed. It was about refusing to be stopped. And in that refusal, you discovered a strength you didn't know you had. Now, place yourself in a crowded classroom, the air thick with the weight of unspoken thoughts. You're the shy one, always tucked in the back, your ideas buried beneath layers of fear. Today, though, the teacher asks a question, and you know the answer. It's not just a guess. It's a truth you've wrestled with, a perspective that could shift the entire discussion. But your throat tightens. Hands shoot up around you, confident voices slicing through the room. Your palms sweat. Your heart races. What if you stutter? What if they laugh? The easy choice is silence. Stay safe. Stay unseen. Yet something stirs. You decide to act as if nothing can stop you. Your hand rises, trembling but resolute. The teacher calls on you, and the room turns. Eyes lock onto you like spotlights. Your voice quivers at first, barely a whisper, but you push through, word by word. You speak your truth. It's not perfect, your sentences tangle, your cheeks burn, but you finish. A few nod, a classmate smiles, and the teacher thanks you for your insight. The fear doesn't vanish, but it shrinks, dwarfed by the realization that you did it. You spoke, like a river etching its mark into stone. Your determination to be heard carved a path through the impossible wall of self-doubt. The takeaway is undeniable. That first strike of defiance, raising your hand, wasn't about being the loudest. It was about refusing to let fear silence you. And in that moment, you learned that even a trembling voice can echo with power. Let's pause and look deeper. What is it about that first step, that initial act of defiance, that holds such transformative force? Think of the river cutting through stone. It doesn't wield a hammer or summon a storm to shatter its obstacles. No, its power lies in persistence, in the quiet, steady push against what seems unmovable. That's you, when you choose to act as if nothing can stop you. Fear is your stone, a hard, cold barrier that feels eternal. But fear isn't a wall, it's an illusion, a shadow cast by your own mind. When you take that first step, you don't destroy the stone in an instant. You erode it, bit by bit, with every choice to move forward. Have you ever considered how many dreams you've delayed, waiting for the right moment? How many times have you stood at the edge, paralyzed by the thought of falling? The truth is this: the right moment is a myth. It's not coming. The only moment that matters is now, when you decide to strike. Like the river, you don't need to be a torrent on day one. You just need to flow. That runner with a sprained ankle didn't need to sprint. They needed to start. That shy student didn't need to deliver a flawless speech. They needed to speak. Your first strike of defiance isn't about perfection. It's about presence. Show up. Move. Let your determination carve the path. Even if it takes years to see the canyon you've created, the stone will yield, but only if you begin. Let's turn inward again. Fear isn't just a barrier, it's a forge. It's the heat that shapes you, the pressure that hardens your resolve, if you let it. When you act as if nothing can stop you, you're not ignoring fear. You're stepping into its flames, letting it temper your spirit. Picture yourself as raw steel, untested and soft. Fear is the fire, the hammer, the anvil. That first strike of defiance is the moment you place yourself in the heat, trusting that you'll emerge stronger. Why do so many of us flee the forge? Why do we see fear as a dead end instead of a doorway? The river cutting through stone teaches us this. Resistance is inevitable, but it's also necessary. Without the stone, the river has no purpose, no path to define its strength. Without fear, your first step holds no weight. That trembling moment when you choose to act, be it walking a race with a wounded ankle or speaking in a room full of strangers, is your initiation. You're not just defying the obstacle, you're defying the part of yourself that wants to shrink, to hide. And here's the paradox. The more you strike, the less fear burns. Each act of defiance dulls its edge, until one day, you look back and see that the stone you once feared is nothing but a pebble beneath your current. So, what are you waiting for? Step into the forge. Let fear shape you, not shatter you. Now let's ground this in action. You're standing at the edge of your own challenge. Maybe it's a conversation you've avoided, a project you've delayed, or a risk you've dodged. Fear is loud, doubt is heavy, but you can act as if nothing can stop you. Here's how to take that first strike of defiance. Start with a single, deliberate step. Don't overthink the entire journey. Focus on the next move. If it's speaking up, write down one sentence you want to say and commit to saying just that. If it's starting a task, set a timer for 5 minutes and begin. No excuses, no perfection needed. When the wave of fear hits, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what's the smallest action I can take right now? Maybe it's putting on your shoes to walk that race, even if you're limping. Maybe it's raising your hand, even if your voice shakes. That small act is your river's first drop against the stone. It's not about the finish line yet. It's about breaking the inertia. And here's the key. Celebrate that step. Acknowledge it. You've struck. You've begun. Build on that momentum tomorrow with another small act. Over time, those drops become a current, and the stone of fear will have no choice but to give way. You've got this. Take the step. Here's another tool to wield as you carve your path. When fear grips you, when your hands shake or your stomach knots, don't fight the feeling, reframe it. That tremble isn't weakness, it's energy. It's proof you're alive. Proof you're on the cusp of something real. Act as if nothing can stop you by renaming that fear as fuel. Tell yourself, this is my body preparing to strike. This is my river gathering strength. Feel the adrenaline, the racing heart, and channel it into your first move. Try this. Before you act, stand tall. Take 3 deep breaths. With each inhale, imagine drawing in the power of that river cutting through stone. With each exhale, release the weight of doubt. Then, write down one reason why this step matters to you. Maybe it's proving to yourself you can, or honoring a promise you've made. Keep that reason close. It's your anchor when fear tries to pull you back. When the moment comes, move, speak, start. Let the tremble be your signal that you're ready to defy the odds. You're not waiting to feel brave. You're choosing to act brave. That's the essence of acting as if nothing can stop you. Strike now and let the tremble be your battle cry. As we close this chapter of the first strike of defiance, let's stand together at the edge of what you've learned. You've walked with a runner who refused to quit, even when pain begged them to stop. You've stood with a student whose trembling voice became a shout of triumph. You've seen that acting as if nothing can stop you isn't about ignoring fear, but about moving through it, step by trembling step, like a river cutting through stone. Your unyielding determination carves a path through impossibility. The key lesson shines clear. The first strike, no matter how small, is your greatest act of power. It's not the finish that defines you. It's the choice to begin. Reflect on your own stone, your own barrier. That first step you've been avoiding, it's waiting for you. You don't need to be ready, you just need to move. As we prepare to journey deeper in the next section, carry this truth. Every impossible wall crumbles under the steady flow of your will. Keep striking, keep flowing. Let nothing stand in your way. Carve your path. Your river will not be stopped. Picture a blacksmith's forge, the air thick with heat and the clang of iron against iron. Each strike of the hammer reverberates through the workshop, a relentless rhythm that transforms raw, unshaped metal into something unbreakable. That's you, standing at the anvil of your life, hammer in hand, facing the raw struggle of obstacles that seem unyielding. But here's the truth. Every blow you deliver, every choice to act, shapes your will into something stronger, something unstoppable. In this moment, you're not just surviving, you're forging an unbreakable will. This is the heart of learning to act as if nothing can stop you. It's not about ignoring the weight of your challenges or pretending they don't exist. It's about building the mindset and habits to strike again and again. No matter how fierce the resistance, you don't wait for the perfect moment. You don't shrink when the sparks fly. You act, you move, you forge ahead. In this section, we'll walk through the fire together, crafting the tools of relentless action. Through stories of grit, reflections on struggle, and steps to anchor your resolve. You'll see that every effort, no matter how small, is a strike that builds your strength. Are you ready to swing the hammer? Imagine a single parent, Maria, racing against the clock every day. By 6 a.m., she's up, preparing breakfast for her two young children, her mind already spinning with the day's demands. She works a grueling shift at a local diner, feet aching as she smiles through endless orders. After work, she rushes to pick up her kids, helps with homework, and tucks them into bed. But her day doesn't end there. At 10 p.m., when the house is finally quiet, Maria opens her laptop. She's studying for a nursing degree, her eyes heavy with exhaustion, her body screaming for rest. The assignments pile up, the bills loom, and doubt creeps in like a shadow. Why am I doing this? I'm too tired. I'll never finish. The weight of it all feels like a mountain she can't climb. Yet Maria doesn't stop. She thinks of her children, of the future she's building for them, a life where they won't have to scrape by. She imagines the day she walks across that graduation stage, diploma in hand, proving to them that nothing is impossible. So, she types one more sentence. She reads one more chapter. Each night, each small act is a strike of the hammer on the anvil of her will. Some nights, she only manages 10 minutes before sleep claims her. But those 10 minutes matter. They're iron bending under her resolve. 1 year turns into 2, and the setbacks come, failed exams, unexpected expenses, sleepless weeks. Still, Maria presses on, and then the day arrives. She passes her final exam. She secures a better job. Her children cheer as she hangs her degree on the wall. The lesson burns bright. Every strike, no matter how weak it felt, shaped her struggle into strength. Like a blacksmith, Maria didn't just endure, she transformed. And so can you. When exhaustion threatens to break you, remember her midnight forge. Act as if nothing can stop you, one small strike at a time. Now picture an athlete, Jamal, who dreams of running a marathon. He's not a natural talent. His legs aren't the fastest, and his endurance isn't the strongest. Years ago, An injury sidelined him, and doctors told him he might never run again. The words stung, planting seeds of doubt that grew with every ache in his knee. But Jamal refused to let that be his story. He started small, walking, then jogging, ignoring the taunts of failure in his mind. Each day he laced up his shoes, focusing not on the 26.2 miles of a marathon, but on the single mile ahead. There were days when progress seemed invisible. Rain soaked his clothes, pain flared in his joints, and his times barely improved. Friends told him to quit, to be realistic. But Jamal saw each run as a strike of the hammer, each step forging his body and mind into something tougher. He didn't chase the finish line. He chased the act of showing up. 1 mile became 2, then 5. Setbacks hit hard, a twisted ankle, a week of illness, but he returned to the track, hammering away at his doubts. Months turned into years, and the day of the marathon arrived. Jamal didn't win. He didn't even come close, but he crossed the finish line, sweat and tears mixing on his face, knowing every grueling step had built this moment. The crowd's cheers were nothing compared to the fire in his chest. He had acted as if nothing could stop him, and in doing so, he forged an unbreakable will. What's your track? What's the next mile you need to run? Strike the iron today, and let tomorrow's victory take care of itself. Let's pause and look at the forge of your life. Every obstacle, every moment of doubt, is raw iron waiting to be shaped. You might see adversity as a wall, an enemy that blocks your path. But what if it's something else? What if pain, struggle, and fear are the very materials you need to build your strength? Like a blacksmith, you don't choose the iron you're given. You work with what's there. And the harder the metal, the stronger the blade it becomes. Think about the times you've fallen. How many dreams have you set aside because the first blow felt too heavy? How often have you walked away from the anvil, thinking the heat was too much to bear? Here's the truth. Every strike matters. Even the ones that seem to miss. The ones that leave you trembling are shaping you. The blacksmith doesn't create a masterpiece in one swing. It takes thousands, each one a choice to act, to push through the burn. Your will isn't born from comfort. It's forged in the fire of resistance. So, when the weight of life feels crushing, don't flinch. Stand at the anvil. Feel the heat. Swing the hammer. You're not breaking under pressure. You're becoming unbreakable. The obstacles aren't stopping you. They're refining you. Act as if nothing can stop you, because in the forge of adversity, nothing truly can. Let each challenge be a call to strike harder, to shape your raw struggle into a weapon of relentless purpose. There's a rhythm to the blacksmith's work, a steady beat of hammer on iron that echoes through time. It's not frantic or rushed, it's deliberate, unyielding. That's the secret of an unbreakable will. Finding your rhythm of relentless action. You don't need to conquer the mountain in a single day. You don't need to outrun the storm in one sprint. You just need to keep moving, keep striking, keep acting as if nothing can stop you. Consider the river carving through stone. It doesn't smash the rock in one violent surge. It flows, day after day, wearing down the hardest barriers with quiet persistence. That's you. Every choice to act, no matter how small, is a current eroding doubt. Every habit you build, every step you take, is a note in the symphony of your resolve. But here's the question. Are you playing your rhythm, or are you letting the noise of fear drown it out? Are you striking with purpose, or hesitating at the anvil? The beauty of relentless action is that it doesn't demand perfection. It demands presence. Show up. Act. Let the hammer fall, even if your arm shakes. Over time, the rhythm becomes your strength. The iron of your struggle bends under your will. You become the river, the blacksmith, the force that nothing can stop. So find your beat today. Let it guide you through the chaos. Act again and again until the world sees the masterpiece you forge. Now, let's get to the grit of it. Building an unbreakable will isn't just a mindset. It's a habit, a series of deliberate actions you take every day. Start with this. Commit to one small strike, one act of progress, no matter how minor it seems. If you're overwhelmed, don't aim to solve everything at once. Break it down. Ask yourself, what's the next step I can take right now? Maybe it's writing one sentence of a report. Maybe it's walking for 5 minutes when you'd rather collapse. That's your hammer hitting the iron. Here's how to make it stick. First, we're going to set a trigger, a specific time or event that cues your action. If you're like Maria, studying late, let putting the kids to bed be your signal to open your laptop. Second, track your strikes. Keep a simple journal or app where you mark each day you acted. Seeing the streak grow fuels your fire. Third, when doubt creeps in, and it will, pause. Breathe. Remind yourself why this matters. Write down one reason to keep going, even if it's as simple as, I refuse to give up on myself. That's your spark in the forge. This isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up, day after day, forging your will with small, consistent blows. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to feel strong. Just act, one strike at a time. You'll see the iron of your struggle transform into something unbreakable. So, what's your next strike? Pick up the hammer. Start now. Resistance is inevitable. Whether it's exhaustion, fear, or failure, the heat of the forge will test you. But here's how to reframe it so it doesn't break you. When an obstacle looms, don't see it as a stop sign. See it as the iron you're meant to shape. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this heat? Maybe a rejection teaches you resilience. Maybe a delay forces you to plan better. Every challenge is a chance to forge something stronger in yourself. Try this exercise when resistance hits. First, name the obstacle. Write it down. Be specific. I'm too tired to study after work. Second, list one action you can take despite it. I'll study for 10 minutes before bed. Third, visualize the strike. Close your eyes and imagine yourself acting, hammer in hand, shaping that struggle into strength. Feel the weight of the hammer, the heat of the forge, the satisfaction of moving forward. This mental rehearsal anchors your resolve. Finally, celebrate the strike. No matter how small, did you push through? Acknowledge it. Tell yourself, I acted as if nothing could stop me. That reinforcement builds your habit of relentless action. Resistance isn't your enemy. It's your raw material. Use it. Shape it. Let every moment of heat be a step toward an unbreakable will. What resistance are you facing today? Face the forge and strike. You've stood at the anvil of your life through these pages, feeling the heat, hearing the clang of relentless action. We've walked with Maria through her midnight struggles, seen Jamal carve victory from daily grit, and reflected on the forge that shapes us all. The takeaway is clear. An unbreakable will isn't a gift. It's a creation. Every choice to act, every habit you build, every strike against the iron of your obstacles transforms struggle into strength. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to be flawless. You just need to keep swinging the hammer, acting as if nothing can stop you. As we move forward, carry this fire with you. The next section will challenge you to wield this will in new arenas, to test the blade you forged against even greater trials. But for now, stand tall in the forge of today. Know that every blow you've delivered has shaped you into something stronger. Let this truth be your rhythm, your spark, your unyielding force. Strike the iron. Your strength is being born. Picture yourself on a battered ship, lost in a merciless storm. Waves crash against the hull. Winds howl with unrelenting fury, and a dense fog blinds your path. You're adrift, uncertain, gripped by the fear that you'll never reach shore. Yet, through the chaos, a faint beam cuts through the haze, a lighthouse, steadfast and unyielding. Its light a promise of safety. That light is your vision, your unwavering belief. It doesn't calm the storm, but it shows you the way. In this moment, in the heart of your struggle, can you hold fast to it? This is the essence of learning to act as if nothing can stop you. In this section, guiding light through the storm, we dive into the art of sustaining momentum by anchoring to a vision that overrides doubt and external resistance. You will learn to stand firm when the world pushes back, to trust in a purpose so vivid it pierces through the fog of uncertainty. Let's journey together through the tempest, finding the strength to keep moving, no matter the odds. Imagine yourself as an entrepreneur with a dream so bold it feels like a mountain you've vowed to climb. You've poured your heart into a venture that promises to change lives, a product, a service, a movement. You see it clearly, the impact, the transformation, the legacy. But the path is brutal. Investors turn you away with cold, dismissive nods. It's too risky, they say. It's not the right time. Potential partners ghost you. Your savings dwindle. Late at night, doubt creeps in like a thief, whispering, "What if you're wrong? What if you fail?" You feel the weight of every rejection, each one a stone piling on your chest. Yet, in the quiet of those dark hours, you close your eyes and see it again. Your vision, not just the product, but the lives it will touch, the families it will help, the ripple of change it will create. It's a lighthouse piercing through the fog of rejection, a beacon that refuses to dim. You remember why you started, not for applause, not for ease, but for purpose. So, you rise at dawn, you rewrite the pitch, you knock on another door, you act as if nothing can stop you, because deep down, you know your vision is worth the fight. One day, after countless no's, a single yes breaks through. It's small. A local business agrees to trial your idea. But it's enough. That first step validates every sleepless night. You realize the rejections weren't failures. They were the storm testing your resolve. Your lighthouse, your belief, guided you through. The lesson burns bright when the world resists, anchored to your why. Let it be the light that cuts through every no until you reach your shore. Now picture yourself as a writer, hunched over a desk littered with crumpled pages. You've spent years weaving a story that pulses with your soul, a manuscript that carries your deepest truths. But every word feels like a battle. Self-doubt is a relentless shadow, sneering at every sentence. Who would read this? It taunts. You're not good enough. You've submitted your work before, only to receive form rejections or silence. Each one stings like a lash, making you question if your voice matters at all. The temptation to bury your story in a drawer grows stronger with every passing day. Why keep fighting when the fog of uncertainty seems endless? But then, in a moment of quiet, you revisit your purpose. You remember the spark that ignited this story, a memory, a pain, a hope you needed to share. You see it not as pages, but as a bridge to someone out there who needs to hear it. That vision becomes your lighthouse, a steady glow amidst the storm of doubt. You choose to act as if nothing can stop you. You revise one more time, pouring your heart into every line. With trembling hands, you submit again. Not because you're certain of success, but because you're certain of your purpose. Weeks later, an email arrives. An editor sees potential. It's not a guarantee, but it's a crack of light. You realize the rejections didn't define your worth. They were merely waves testing your endurance. Your unwavering belief guided you through the fog. The takeaway shines clear. Your vision is your compass. Cling to it, even when your own mind turns against you, and it will lead you to the next step. Let's pause and look deeper. What is this vision, this lighthouse that pierces the fog of uncertainty? It's not a fleeting wish or a shallow goal. It's the core of why you fight, the unshakable truth that drives you when everything else falters. Think of it as a flame within a glass tower, protected from the howling winds of doubt and resistance. The storm may rage, the waves may crash, but that flame endures. It's your belief in what could be, in the impact you're meant to make. How often have you let the fog obscure it, How many times have you turned away, seeking shelter and comfort, only to feel the ache of an unlit path? Your vision isn't just a dream, it's a commitment, like a captain trusting the lighthouse through a tempest. You must trust your purpose through life's chaos. External resistance, rejection, criticism, setbacks is inevitable. So is internal doubt, that gnawing voice questioning your strength, but neither can extinguish your light unless you allow it. Sustaining momentum isn't about ignoring the storm. It's about fixing your gaze on that beacon and steering forward, one hard-fought inch at a time. Your belief is your power. It's the force that lets you act as if nothing can stop you, even when the odds scream otherwise. Remember this, the fog may hide the shore, but it cannot hide your light if you refuse to let it dim. Consider the nature of resistance. It's not a wall, it's a current pushing against you, testing how deeply you're rooted. When doubt and opposition strike, they aim to uproot you, to sweep you off course. But a vision, when truly embraced, becomes your anchor. It's not a fragile thread. It's a chain forged in the fire of your resolve, holding you steady when the tempest roars. Have you ever felt that pull to give up, to drift with the tide of good enough? What stopped you, or what didn't, leaving you with regret? Think of your vision as a map etched into your soul, not on paper that can tear or fade. External voices may shout that your path is foolish. Your own fears may echo their words, yet that map remains. Its lines drawn by a purpose only you fully understand. Sustaining momentum means gripping that anchor, refusing to let the current of resistance drag you under. It means acting as if nothing can stop you, not because the storm isn't real, but because your resolve is stronger, like a lighthouse standing against centuries of gales. Your belief must stand against every wave. Hold it close. Let it ground you. The shore is closer than the fog lets you see. Now let's turn philosophy into action. When doubt clouds your mind and resistance blocks your path, how do you sustain momentum? First, carve out a moment of stillness. Step away from the noise, the emails, the rejections, the inner critic. Sit with yourself and ask, what is my lighthouse? What vision burns so brightly that I cannot ignore it? Write it down in vivid detail. Don't just say, I want to succeed. See the lives you'll touch, the change you'll ignite, the legacy you'll build. Make it so real you can feel it in your bones. Next, create a tangible reminder of this vision. It could be a note on your desk, a photo that captures your why, or a single word etched into your daily view. Place it where doubt strikes hardest, when rejection stings or fear whispers. Look at that reminder. Let it pull you back to your light. Finally, and commit to one small step each day toward that vision. It doesn't have to be grand. Send one email, write one page, make one call. Momentum isn't built in leaps. It's forged in steady, defiant strides. Act as if nothing can stop you, because with your lighthouse in sight, nothing truly can. Resistance will come. Doubt will creep. To sustain your momentum, you must learn to shield your light from their grasp. Start by identifying your triggers, those moments or voices that dim your belief. Is it a critical comment, a string of setbacks, a comparison to others? Write them down, name them, then, beside each, craft a counter-truth tied to your vision. If rejection triggers doubt, remind yourself, every no is a step closer to yes. My purpose endures. Speak this aloud when the trigger strikes. Second, build a ritual of renewal. Resistance drains you. Counter it by rekindling your fire. Set aside 5 minutes daily to reconnect with your why. Read your vision statement. Visualize its outcome. Or recall a moment when you felt unstoppable. Let this ritual be your shield, guarding your light against the fog. Lastly, seek a witness, someone who sees your lighthouse even when you can't. Share your vision with them, not for validation, but for accountability. When the storm rages, their belief can steady yours. Act as if nothing can stop you by protecting your light with intention. It's your guide. Don't let it fade. As we close this chapter of guiding light through the storm, let the truth settle into your core. Sustaining momentum isn't about avoiding the storm, but about anchoring to a vision that overrides doubt and external resistance. You've walked with an entrepreneur who turned rejection into resolve, and a writer who battled self-doubt to reclaim their voice. You've reflected on the lighthouse of belief, an unyielding beacon that cuts through the fog of uncertainty. You've armed yourself with steps to craft and shield that light, ensuring it guides you no matter how fierce the tempest grows. The key lesson remains: your vision is your power. When you act as if nothing can stop you, clinging to that unwavering belief, the fog cannot hold you back. The shore awaits, even if hidden. Keep steering toward it. As we prepare to journey into the next stretch of this path, carry this truth forward. Let it fuel you when the next wave crashes. Stand tall, eyes fixed on your light, and move with purpose. The storm may howl, but it cannot drown your resolve. Be the lighthouse. Pierce the fog. Your vision will guide you home. Picture this: a tiny seed buried beneath layers of cold, unyielding concrete. It has no voice, no strength to boast of, yet it presses upward, driven by an unseen force. Cracks begin to form. The impossible gives way. That seed is you. You, with your quiet will, your unspoken resolve, can shatter the hardest barriers. In this moment, as we stand together on the journey to act as if nothing can stop you, we celebrate the transformation and impact of unstoppable action. Feel the ground tremble beneath your feet. You are no longer bound by fear or doubt. You are a force, a movement, a living testament to what happens when you refuse to be held back. This is your triumph, your proof that even the smallest spark of will can break through the heaviest obstacles. Are you ready to claim it? Let's step into the light of your becoming and see just how far your relentless action can take you. Imagine a woman named Clara, someone who once shrank from the sound of her own voice. She lived in the shadows of her small town, her ideas buried under layers of self-doubt thicker than any concrete. Meetings at the community center were her silent prison. Others spoke, planned, and acted while she sat, hands folded, lips sealed. But one day, a need arose. The local park, a haven for children, was slated for demolition. Clara felt a stirring, a tiny seed of defiance pushing against her fear. Could she let this place of joy disappear without a fight? She couldn't. She wouldn't. With trembling hands, she stood at the next meeting. Her voice cracked, but she spoke. "We can save this park. I have a plan." Eyes turned to her, some skeptical, others curious. That first step was agony, but it cracked the surface of her timidity. Day by day, she acted as if nothing could stop her, organizing fundraisers, rallying neighbors, facing rejection after rejection from local officials. Each no was a slab of concrete, but Clara pressed on, her will a quiet, persistent force. Months later, the park stood saved, reborn with new swings and laughter. Clara, once invisible, became the heartbeat of her community. People looked to her, inspired by her courage, asking, "How did you do it?" She smiled, knowing the answer. She acted, even when fear screamed to stop. Her story mirrors yours. That seed of will, though small, split through the barriers of doubt. Clara's lesson is clear. Act as if nothing can stop you, and you'll inspire a ripple that transforms not just your world, but everyone in it. The hardest walls crumble when you refuse to stay buried. Now see Marcus, a man who once had it all, a thriving business, a family, a future. Then came the crash. A financial collapse stripped him bare, leaving him with debts deeper than any pit. His savings vanished, his confidence shattered. Friends drifted away, and shame became his shadow. He sat in his empty office, staring at unpaid bills, wondering if this was the end. But beneath the rubble of his ruin, a seed stirred. A voice whispered, "Rebuild, act, move." Marcus chose to listen. He started small, taking odd jobs to pay for groceries while sketching plans at night. He acted as if nothing could stop him, even when creditors hounded him, even when exhaustion clawed at his bones. He learned new skills, networked with strangers, and slowly built a new venture from the ashes of the old. Years later, Marcus stood not just restored, but renewed, a mentor to others who'd fallen into their own pits of despair. He taught them to act, to push through the concrete of failure with relentless will. "I've been there," he'd say, "and I rose. So can you." His life became a lighthouse for the lost, proof that action, no matter how small, can carve a path through the darkest collapse. Marcus's journey echoes your own potential. That seed of action, planted in the hardest ground, broke through to create something greater. His lesson ties to Clara's. When you act as if nothing can stop you, you don't just rebuild yourself. You become a guide for others to rise. Let's pause and look deeper. A seed pushing through concrete isn't just a pretty image. It's a law of life. Think about it. The seed doesn't argue with the barrier. It doesn't scream or despair. It simply grows inch by inch, with a force so quiet you'd miss it if you weren't watching. That's you. Right now, every time you choose to act, even when the odds tower over you like a slab of stone, you tap into that same silent power. You don't need permission. You don't need the world's applause. You just need to move. How many times have you stopped yourself, convinced the barrier was too thick? How many dreams have you buried under the weight of impossible? Here's the truth. Impossibility is a lie we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. The seed doesn't know impossibility. It knows only persistence. It knows that every push, no matter how small, creates a crack, and cracks lead to breakthroughs. When you act as if nothing can stop you, you're not defying reality. You're reshaping it. You're teaching the world that barriers are temporary, but your will is eternal. So, stand firm, push. Let your quiet strength split the concrete of doubt, and watch as the light of transformation pours through. Consider this. Your action doesn't end with you. Like a stone dropped into still water, every move you make sends ripples outward, touching lives you may never see. Clara's courage didn't just save a park, it awakened her community. Marcus's rise didn't just rebuild his life, it lit a path for others. When you act as if nothing can stop you, you're not just breaking through your own concrete, you're clearing the way for others to follow. You become a signal, a beacon, a living proof that transformation is possible. Have you ever stopped to think about who's watching you? Who might be inspired by your next step, your next push, your action, even in its smallest form? Plant seeds in others. It whispers to them, if they can, so can I. This is the impact of unstoppable action. It multiplies. It grows beyond you. So don't underestimate the power of your will. Don't think your struggle is yours alone. Every time you rise, you lift others with you. You forge a chain of courage that stretches across time. Act, then act boldly. Let your ripple become a wave. Here's how you begin to live as if nothing can stop you. Start small, but start now. When you face a barrier, whether it's fear of failure, a daunting task, or a past that weighs you down, don't aim to shatter it all at once. Look for one crack, one tiny action you can take today. Maybe it's sending that email you've been avoiding. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting, even if your voice shakes. Maybe it's writing down one goal you've buried under doubt. That's your seed pushing upward. Commit to this. For the next 24 hours, act on one thing you've delayed. Don't overthink. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Just move. Write it down if you must. Say, today, I will do this. Then do it. When doubt creeps in, pause, breathe. Remind yourself that even a seed starts small. but its persistence changes everything. One crack leads to another. One action builds momentum. Before you know it, the concrete of your obstacles will split wide open, and you'll stand in the light of your own triumph. Here's another tool to keep you unstoppable. Anchor yourself in your why. Every time you act, let your purpose be the force that drives you through the hardest barriers. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? What's on the other side of this struggle? Maybe it's freedom from a past that haunts you. Maybe it's a legacy you want to leave for those you love. Maybe it's simply proving to yourself that you can, whatever it is, write it down, keep it close. Let it be the root that feeds your seed of action. When the weight of the concrete feels unbearable, pull out that reminder, read it, feel it, let it reignite the fire within you. Then take the next step, no matter how small. If Clara had forgotten her why, the laughter of children in that park, she might have stopped. If Marcus had lost sight of his family's future, he might have stayed in ruin. Your why is your power. Use it. Act as if nothing can stop you, because when your purpose burns bright, nothing will. As we close this chapter of your journey, let's stand together and marvel at what you've uncovered. You've seen Clara transform from a whisper to a roar, saving a piece of her world through sheer will. You've watched Marcus rise from the ashes of ruin to become a mentor of hope. You've felt the truth of the seed pushing through concrete, how even the smallest act of will can shatter the hardest barriers. The key lesson here is this: when you act as if nothing can stop you, your transformation becomes a triumph that echoes beyond yourself. It's not just about breaking through, it's about becoming unbreakable. Your unstoppable action is a gift, not just to you, but to everyone who witnesses it. You've learned to push, to persist, to anchor in your purpose. Now, carry this fire forward. In the next steps of our journey, we'll explore how to sustain this momentum, how to turn your triumphs into a lasting legacy. For now, hold this truth close. Keep pushing, keep acting, keep rising. Your barriers are no match for your will. Let this be your chant, your rhythm, your unyielding vow. I am the seed. I break through. Nothing stops me.